Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin and I am finally back. It is Sunday and I did not do my weekly roundup yesterday on Saturday, which is my normal day, so we're going to do my weekly roundup today on Sunday. Why did I not do it yesterday? Well, I was cleaning, lost track of time, and I was frankly a little tuckered out. As I mentioned in Things We're Making Thursday, these are brand new glasses. My prescription has significantly changed, and that has, my vestibular vertigo disorder has been re-triggered, so it looks like we have to do a little bit of retraining of the brain to get it all going well. So that was exhausting to me. And on Friday, I did not do Fridays with Fred because we were awoken at 4:40 in the morning by the sirens. First siren that went off, it was for a high winds warning. And then about 5 minutes later, a tornado warning. And then about 10 minutes after that, a second overlapping tornado warning. So that was exciting. The kiddos decided to never go back to bed. So I was a zonkified zombie all day Friday. So we actually ended up going to bed at 7:30 p.m. And that was a-okay with me. We have something, Brian and I joked, we call it old lady bedtime. So you're free to go to bed anytime you want after old lady bedtime, which is 8:30 p.m. I told him I am not even going to make it to old lady bedtime. I am so sorry. And he was like, no problemo. But so all of that excitement really, and then on Tuesday told you about what had happened there. So yeah, this week was a very weird, wild weather week. Well, the other thing that happened on Friday, about 2.5 miles from the house, it was crazy. So it was actually about, so we had the warning storms, but it was after those storms passed, about a half hour after those storms had passed, a power line went down. And we have like a Mary Maids, Molly Maids, something like that, on a main road, and they have like their fleet of cars that are always lined up in the parking lot. So we just you kind of know it as a landmark because you see all of their cars lined up. A power line fell, landed on those cars, and lit them all on fire. It was insane. They were burning for like an hour before the power company came to cut, because they had to physically cut the power cables to, you know, I guess stop feeding power to the fire, and so the fire department could finally extinguish it. That was crazy. But luckily, even though it was like 2.5 miles from the house, we didn't lose power because of that line being severed. So that was a small wonder. I guess I do have, we'll just get all the storm talk out of the way at the beginning. There is an update about what happened on Tuesday. It was Tuesday, right? Oh, the other thing on Friday, we had a 2-hour school delay because of all of the craziness. So Chomps didn't go to school until 2 hours late, which pushed everything way back. I had a doctor's appointment, a physical therapy appointment. So my day was just eaten up by tiredness and appointments and running all around. But anyway, I was going back to Tuesday. The update on Tuesday is we've learned more information about the events that happened there. And it turned out, based on the reports that we're seeing, what happened in our town was an F2 tornado. And my neighbor and I were looking at the map of the path of the tornado. And we figured the tornado was about a mile from our house. So we got very, very lucky. It ran for 41 miles. And thankfully, mostly just property destruction. So we will take that. But yeah, that was crazy. Sustained 135 mile per hour winds. No wonder the house was creaking. But what's crazy is we have other friends that live what should have been very close to the path, and they said they had some rain, but they didn't feel any wind or anything. So it's very strange. It's very odd. But yeah, that's really it. Crafting wise, I got some stuff done, not a whole bunch. So let's just hop in. I've realized I've completed 2 hats on the Addie, but I've stacked whips on top. Oh no, I can get them. Whips on top of them. So I have actually run out of yarn that I had earmarked for the Addie downstairs. So I have to go through and find more. I had a little bit of this Joanne Fleck yarn left. So I just did that. This is Vanilla Bean. And I just used the rest of the plain black that I had in it. This is again a child-size double layer beanie from the Addie. And then I have another that used the end of the, this is a Loops and Threads yarn. Natural Marl. And the rest of some white, plain white that I had down there, just Loops and Threads Classic. And made another child-size beanie, so it's just got that little bit of color there, and the rest is white. So I think that's pretty cute. And so those are my 2 whips. Yay! Although on Thursday I did show you the washcloths that I had made. So I did make 3 more washcloths for that project. Into the whips, the works in progress. I did put the latest mini into my Aberdeen Wool's pickle jar kit. So here it is. I think that looks super pretty. So there's the full, that's my, what I'm supposed to sew it together with. Here's the full thing so far. That is just so, this is a fun project. So this is the pickle jar kit you can buy from Aberdeen Wool's. They have the jar. The jar comes with 2 patterns and the knitting needles you need for the project. So I am using the knitting needles that came in this jar. The patterns are knit, but there is no reason you could not crochet something with this. I think it would be fabulous. But each week, my goal is to put one of these minis. They're like 5 gram minis, 20 yards of fingering weight hand-dyed yarns from the Tangled Poet dyer. Anyway, we've been using the Jar of Fate to pick the next color. I'm not planning it. I'm just reaching my hand in, and whatever my hand grabs is what's going in next. Although I do think it's kind of layered in a bit of a palette. But I don't know what's going on. Oh, and the jar. Like, my hand doesn't really want to go in the mouth of the jar anymore. So it's harder to hold it high and not see while trying to get my hand in there. Okay. Oh, this is pretty. I thought I was going to get that dark blue one, but no, I didn't. This is totally Erin. Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on, and then we're going to look at the yarn. It's a beautiful dark brown with like a rusty orangey color, and then I can see spots of purple in here. Don't know if the purple is going to show up for you. There's some purple right there. Like, try to get the purple on my finger. It's a beautiful purple. Right there. You see that that's purple? Focus. Let me know if that shows up, but that is purple. And these are so pretty. Look at that. Oh, I think this is going to be lovely next in there. And having the purple, it might pull it out a bit more being next to the pink purple. Exciting stuff. Okay, so that's a project I will do next. I have 3 yarn labels to add to my label collection. I did start piecing together the blanket. It's gonna have to be blocked. But there you go. I am using the raspberry, so I'm just doing a single crochet. So I'm doing a round of single crochets around the knit blanket there in the raspberry, and then I'm doing a single crochet join to join those 2, and then there you go. So this is how it's supposed to go. So this is panel 1, this is panel 2. I've got 7 panels. It's going to need blocking, and hopefully it'll play nicely afterwards. I'll be honest, I'm not loving it right now. And it's not because of the colors. I didn't realize until I got looking at it quite how many tucked stitches I had in the panels. And I don't know, like it wants to almost, where I'm crocheting it together, it almost wants to suture and suck it together. So I'm hoping blocking will help flatten that out. I am wondering if I made a mistake by just doing 1 round of single crochets around it. Should I have done 2 or 3? But I do plan on doing a border around the whole thing once I get them pieced together. We'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are on there. I mean, it's only 2 panels. If I do rip it out, now's the time to do it. So I could rip it out and do like an extra round, maybe. Maybe I would have been better off with half doubles. I'm kind of wondering if I grabbed the wrong size crochet hook to do it. Because they don't really tell you what needle size the Addie is. Like what it's approximating. I'm now realizing I forgot my water. I'm going to have to go get it. Okay, I am back. I have my water. I'm good to go. Let's go with projects you normally see on the weekly roundup. And then we'll talk about Fridays with Fred. Because I didn't come on Friday, I figured I would give my update here. I continued work on the foot of the sock. This is a simple ribbed sock I am making for my husband Brian. I am using jelly bean yarns, fingering weight sock yarn in the colorway Seaweed. It is such a pretty green. Look at that tonal green. Gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm in love with it. I'm kind of kicking myself, wishing I had kept it, held it aside to do like color work in a sweater almost with it. Like it's so gorgeous. But I think these socks are going to be perfect for Brian, so I'm not sad on that front. You know what I mean? I thought there was going to be a really good chance I was at the toe this weekend. We had a wild week and I didn't get there, and that's okay. That's how it happens sometimes, right? Okay, so, I did finish one more square on Bingo's granny square blanket, and I got them pieced together. Not much there. For that blanket, it's not a blanket, that's a dress I'm making. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook on that. And the yarn is leftover Premier Basics worsted that I had for a multitude of other projects, and this is going to be the last project I use that yarn in. Any leftover is either going to go to the Addie for hats or other projects, or I'll do something with it with like the Mystery Yarn Challenge or something like that. Update on the Mystery Yarn Challenge. Last week I said I finished my project and I wasn't going to start another whip for this month, so I will just rejoin that come June, which is coming up fast. Okay, so let's do Fridays with Fred on a Sunday. What? So if you don't watch my Fridays with Fred videos, you should. It's a fun time for me. I got this book, Knitting the Neighborhood. It's the official knitting patterns of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I'm going to make everything in this book. You guys help me by voting on what projects I should do, and then you watch me and my progress, and you cheer me on. You keep my momentum going. Because let me tell you, I might have lost hope a little bit on this project. So, there's no author on this book, but there is the name designer for each project. Right now I'm doing the colorful curtain scarf, which is designed by Kafe Facet. I am 5 rows behind. My goal is to do 5 rows a day on it. But I did finish the 11th pattern repeat. I have one more pattern repeat on this thing until I put on the end border and pick up stitches for the side borders. And then I block it. and then we're done with this. Holy but you guys, the end is nigh. The end is in sight. So here we are. I did not weave in these ends yet, so I still have to do that. We were supposed to have storms again last night, potentially. They weren't severe at all, but we did a basement camp out just in case. So I just didn't work on this really at all yesterday. There you go. So this is a blend of intarsia and stranded knitting. Each one of these color stripes has 16 ends I need to fill in, or I need to weave in. I have been staying on top of it so it doesn't become a problem. Last week I was down here. This is a lovely stitch marker from Miss Amy at Hooked on Witching Crochet. So I was down here, so I did finish a full 4-row repeat. So let's go ahead and move this up. My goal will be to have the color repeats mostly done for next week, but I am, as I said, behind. So if I don't reach that goal, it's not going to be the end of the world. We'll get there. It's so close. I think I am motivated now by being so close, by seeing the end. It's in sight. It's going to be so close. So there you go. That is all I have for the crafty goodness this week. This is going to be a quick one, thank goodness. I do also talk about the book I'm reading, so if you don't want to hear about books, thank you so much for joining. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what is exciting you about crafting these days. Yeah, I want to know it all. I want to know it all. It is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. There are some yarn sales going on. I haven't seen any that were super duper fabulous. Hirschner's had a free shipping coupon, but I tried to use it and it didn't. It said not valid or something, so whatever. I guess I don't have to buy Hirschner's. Premier had some sort of free shipping. I think Mary Maxim sent a text message, something about free shipping on orders of 5 items or more today. I did take advantage of one sale I saw through Instagram, which was May the 4th. I misspoke. I said I ordered a Star Wars kit through Forbidden Fibers. I was wrong. I ordered it through Fangirl Fibers. Forbidden Fibers, yesterday I saw, was having like a moving sale or something, but they had mystery bags and you could pick your yarn base and it was 3 hanks of hand-dyed yarn for $36 a piece. That's amazing. I have been watching them and wanting their yarn, and I figured mystery bags at that price, I mean, they're normally like 30 bucks a hank. So to get them for 12 bucks a piece is a steal and a bargain. And yeah, I bought 3 bags in 3 different bases. I bought 3 bags total, 1 each in 3 different bases. So 3 bags are coming my way, and I know I got Sparkle. I don't remember. It's a blur. It's a blur, but that's really the only sale. And that wasn't necessarily for Memorial Day. That was for a moving sale. I did see a chick that knits, which I've bought from in the past. This lovely yarn. She is having a Memorial Day sale. Something like 20-30% off. Something like that. That's all I know off the top of my head. Let me know if you see any other deals that you want to share. But let's move on to books. Books. What am I reading? I'm still reading the anthology Rogues. Edited by George R.R. Martin and Gardner D., whose name I still don't know how to pronounce. I did finish that short story by Michael Swanwick, Tawny Petticoats. It was a fun, frolicky story. It didn't go anywhere near the way I thought it was going to go, but it was a bunch of roguish characters all playing off each other, and yeah, I don't think there was any big morals to be gained. It was just a fun, flighty story. Next up is Provenance by David W. Ball. I've just read like the first page. It's shaping up to be some sort of investigation of a painting that hasn't been seen since the Second World War, which of course makes you wonder if it was some of that art that was confiscated by the Nazis, or, you know, rehoused or taken during that period. And so I'm not quite sure where this is going. Like I said, I've only read the first page. We'll see how it goes. The name David W. Ball rings a bell in my head, but like I said, like before, I'd read the books listed in the introduction, and none of those books specifically rang a bell with me that I had read, so it might just be an author I'm vaguely familiar with. I'm going to keep on keeping on. So far, like I said, I haven't skipped a book or a story yet, but I might if one doesn't tickle my fancy. Like I said, this is an anthology of short stories, all with a main character centralized around a roguish character. But it can be any genre. So it could be fantasy, it could be sci-fi, it could be western, it could be mystery, it could be horror, it could be anything. Romance, I don't know. But I mean, you see something edited by George R.R. Martin and you immediately think fantasy. And this Gardner, D-O-Z-O-I-S is his last name. He's a very, very accomplished sci-fi editor. He edited for decades Isaac Asimov's magazine. So that would make me think sci-fi fantasy, but not everything fits in there. Like I said, I read the Gillian Flynn short story in this book. That's more psychological thriller, which so far, I think that's the best story in the book. I'm only on like the 5th or 6th book or story. I keep saying book because I'm used to referring to them as books, but it is a short story. Okay, there you go. I hope to be on a bit more regularly next week, but next week is the final week of school for Chomps. And we'll see how the summer goes. I can't make any promises. And, of course, family and real life is the priority. But please, cross your fingers that there are no more storms in the near future. Oh my gosh, I need a break. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!